Men tell you about a man I met once who understood that it is a great folly to lose one's own life in order to preserve that of another. Niccolò Machiavelli. Chapter 1. The Invisible Leaks. Invisible leaks. These subtle deceptions, disguised as loyalty, bleed your strength. I will show you how to find these hidden betrayals, and then how to stop them. Your life is a bucket, meticulously filled with your time, your focus, your drive. But beneath the surface, hidden cracks are hemorrhaging everything you work for. Understood centuries ago, men are quick to change their master, and quicker still to betray a friendship when it no longer serves them. They tell you to nurture every relationship, to be loyal to everyone who calls themselves a friend. This is a lie. Right now, these invisible leaks are draining your potential, disguised as kindness or shared history. These are not open wounds, easily identified and cauterized. They are insidious, a slow bleed of resources that you barely notice until the bucket is half empty. Think about the conversations that leave you feeling depleted, the constant requests for your time or emotional labor that are never reciprocated. These aren't just minor annoyances, they are active siphons, diverting your energy from your own ambitions. You rationalize their behavior. You tell yourself they mean well, that's just how they are. But every time you give them a piece of your peace, a chunk of your attention, or a slice of your focus, you are funding their existence at your own expense. They don't demand, they subtly imply, they complain, they project their own failures onto your successes, and you, conditioned by a false sense of obligation, allow it. Here's how you begin to identify these quiet assassins. Observe who benefits most from your interactions, who leaves feeling lighter, more energized, more validated, while you feel heavy, tired, or even resentful. It's not always about money. It's about the emotional real estate they occupy, the mental bandwidth they consume, the opportunities you miss because you are constantly tending to their needs or drama. What Marcus Aurelius understood is that true freedom comes from within, by guarding your inner citadel against external chaos. He knew that your peace is your most valuable possession, and allowing others to disturb it without consequence is an act of self-betrayal. You must treat your inner world as a fortress, and these emotional drains are simply invaders you've welcomed through the gate. This is why you must learn to audit your connections, silently and without warning. If you announce you're evaluating your friendships, they will adapt, they will perform, they will feign change. But if you quietly observe, without judgment, their true patterns will emerge. There's nothing to negotiate, nothing to explain, just pure, unadulterated observation of where your energy flows and where it evaporates. But there's another kind of drain, one that doesn't just take your energy, but actively sabotages your climb. What is it? Chapter 2. The Energy Thieves. A silent assassin. This is not mere distraction. These are emotional usurpers, intent on seizing your most precious resource, your very will to act. This is the energy thief. They are not passive drains, they are black holes of emotional need, pulling you into constant crises, endless complaints, unceasing drama. They don't steal money, but they pilfer something more valuable: your attention, your focus, your drive. You allow them to set the emotional tone for your day, your week, your life. Every conversation with them leaves you depleted. You feel heavy, burdened by their problems as if they were your own. They talk about failures, fears, injustices, and expect you to carry the weight. This is not support. It is a parasitic transfer of their unresolved issues onto your shoulders. Think about a clear plan, a crucial task, or a moment of quiet focus. Then their text comes, their call demands attention. Suddenly, your ambition feels smaller, your optimism wanes, and you are dragged into their world of despair. You give them vital energy, leaving less for your own ascent. You must treat your emotional landscape as a fortress. Install formidable boundaries. Understand their neediness is a projection, a shadow they cannot face within themselves, so they cast it onto you. Acknowledge it, but do not absorb it. Let it pass like a cloud. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, wrote Seneca. What he understood is that many struggles you internalize from others are not your reality, but a manufactured drama they project. Your emotional resilience is the first casualty when you allow someone else's imagined woes to become your actual burden. The naive believe they can fix these people, that empathy can heal the broken. They spend hours, days, years trying to counsel, to uplift, to solve, but you know better. You understand some wounds are not yours to mend, and some people do not want to be fixed. They just want an audience for their suffering. Sigmund Freud taught us that unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Your energy thief is a testament to this, unleashing their buried, unresolved issues onto you. They aren't looking for solutions. They are looking for a place to dump emotional waste. Trying to rationalize or argue with an energy thief is a losing game. They thrive on attention, even negative attention. Instead of engaging their drama, you must disengage from their orbit, gradually, silently. No grand announcements, no explanations, no room for negotiation. Reduce contact, shorten conversations, stop offering advice. Become a wall, not a sponge. They will seek new sources for emotional feeding, or they will be forced to confront their own internal landscapes. Either way, you regain your vital fuel. This isn't about being cruel. It's about self-preservation. Your mission requires all your resources, every ounce of focus, every spark of drive. You cannot bankroll another person's emotional bankruptcy with your own future. Chapter 3, The Projection Mirror. The projection mirror, a dangerous friend indeed. They will look at your ambition and see only their own limitations, then try to make you small. Observe closely. The next friend you must cut off is the project mirror. This is the person who looks at your ambitions, your energy, your drive, and reflects back their own limitations, their own failures, their own fears. They don't see you, they see a distorted version of themselves, and they try to make you fit inside that small, cramped space they inhabit. This is not about malice. It's a defense mechanism, a subconscious attempt to keep their world ordered by pulling you down to their level. Watch what happens when you share an exciting new venture or a bold personal goal with them. They will not offer encouragement. Instead, they will instantly list every obstacle, every past failure they experienced, every reason why it's too risky or not practical. Their advice isn't wisdom. It's a mirror reflecting their own unfulfilled potential, their own regrets, their own cowardice. They project their shadow onto your bright future, clouding your vision. Think about how many times you've left a conversation with such a person feeling deflated, questioning your own instincts, or even starting to believe their bleak outlook. This is the insidious poison of projection. They don't want you to fail, not consciously, but they cannot tolerate your success if it highlights their own stagnation. Your light becomes a painful reminder of their darkness, and so they try to dim it. Here's how you disarm the projection mirror. You recognize the source. When someone tells you that's impossible, they are really saying, that's impossible for me. When they say you're too ambitious, they mean, I lack the ambition to do what you're doing. This shift in perspective is everything. It reclaims the power they subtly drain from you, placing the problem back squarely in their court. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, understood this deeply. He spoke of the shadow self, the repressed parts of our personality, our weaknesses and unconscious desires, which we often project onto others. What he understood is that when someone criticizes you fiercely, often they are battling an internal demon, a part of themselves they refuse to acknowledge. Their judgment is rarely about you. It's about their own internal conflict, finding an external target. Do not argue with these projections. Do not defend your dreams. That is precisely what they want, for you to engage with their doubt, to let it infect your mind. Instead, listen quietly. Acknowledge their words without accepting their premise, and then move on. Their projections are their burden, not yours to carry, not yours to validate. Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher, famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He pushed for self-knowledge, for looking inward. The projecting mirror friend, by contrast, is often living an unexamined life, refusing to confront their own limitations, and instead casting them outward onto those around them. They avoid their own reflections, preferring to see them in you. When you refuse to internalize their projections, when you stop seeing yourself through their distorted lens, you reclaim your mental space. Your plans remain your own, your ambition remains undiluted. There's nothing for them to grab onto, no hook for their fears to latch. You become impervious to their subtle sabotage. If you explain your vision, seeking their validation, you give them permission to project their limitations onto you. But if you quietly pursue your path, treating their negative commentary as irrelevant static, you deny them any entry point. You build your fortress of purpose, unburdened by their internal struggles. This is the art of strategic deafness. Chapter 4, The Silent Saboteurs. Beware the serpent in your garden. Some foes wear smiles, not armor. They drain your spirit, not your blood, leaving you vulnerable and unaware. While you master strategic deafness, understand that some poisons are silent, injected not through words, but through intent. This brings us to the silent saboteurs, the friends who subtly undermine your ambitions, who secretly celebrate your setbacks, and who never truly wish for your success. They don't attack directly. They corrode your foundation from within, leaving you feeling drained and directionless without understanding why. This type of friend operates in the shadows of your ambition. They offer backhanded compliments that chip away at your confidence, or they might warn you against every opportunity, subtly projecting their own fears and failures onto your potential. You mention a new venture, and they immediately list all the reasons it will fail, masked as concern. They drain your resolve, not with obvious malice, but with a persistent drip of doubt. Watch what happens when you share a small win with them. There's no genuine enthusiasm, only a quick change of subject or a minimizing comment, "Oh, that's nice." But when you hit a rough patch, they are suddenly attentive, offering superficial sympathy, while a hidden satisfaction flickers in their eyes. This isn't support, it's a vampiric, feeding on your vulnerability, a subconscious validation of their own stagnant reality. Here's how you identify and disarm them. You begin a deliberate information diet. Stop sharing your true aspirations, your big plans, or your quiet victories with them. They thrive on knowing your moves, using that insight to plant seeds of doubt or to subtly steer you off course. Deny them this intel. If you announce your goals to them, seeking their approval, you invite their subtle subversion. They will find ways to discourage you, to highlight every obstacle, to remind you of past failures. But if you quietly execute your plans, letting your results speak for themselves, they have nothing to puncture. Your silence becomes your shield. Friedrich Nietzsche once observed, "He who lives for combat must learn to fight alone." What he understood is that some battles, especially those against internal or insidious external forces, are best fought in solitude. You guard your ambition, your energy, and your spirit by not exposing them to those who wish them ill. The strategy here is not confrontation, but insulation. You don't need to announce they're cut off. Simply reduce contact, decline invitations, and pivot conversations away from your personal progress. They will sense the shift, but without a direct challenge. They have no ground to stand on, no drama to create. You become less available, less transparent, less penetrable. Winston Churchill, a man who understood the nature of hidden enemies, famously stated, "You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life." He knew that not everyone would cheer your path, and some would actively try to trip you. What he understood is that your response defines you, not their insidious actions. You don't engage in their petty games. You build your empire away from their petty gazes. Your focus remains on your journey, unburdened by their projections. You create boundaries, not with words, but with actions and intentional distance. They cannot sabotage what they do not know, and they cannot celebrate your failures if they are unaware of your attempts. Your energy remains yours, fueling your climb. This quiet disengagement is a form of self-preservation, a necessary surgery to remove the parasitic attachments that drain your vital resources. You seal the leaks that these silent saboteurs create, ensuring your reservoir of ambition remains full. Chapter 5, Poisoned Well. The silent killer. A prince's worst enemy isn't the dagger, but the whisper. Learn how they erode your will and how to unmask them. But there is a more insidious threat, one that doesn't just drain your resources, but poisons the very wellspring of your ambition, the subtle saboteur. These individuals rarely attack you head-on. Their weapon is not direct confrontation, but a quiet, constant drip of doubt and dismissal, designed to erode your confidence from the inside out. They don't block your path, they make you question if the path is even worth taking. This slow-acting venom destroys you because it's so hard to identify. It feels like concern, like friendly advice, like someone looking out for your best interests. They will offer a backhanded compliment that plants a seed of inadequacy, or a gentle warning disguised as wisdom that highlights every potential pitfall of your aspirations. The goal is to make you self-sabotage, to retreat before you even begin, to lose the battle in your own mind. Watch what happens when you share a new idea, a grand plan, or a bold move with them. They will lean in, listen intently, then offer a sigh and a soft, "That's ambitious. Are you sure you have the bandwidth for that right now?" Or, "It's a great idea, but remember what happened to X when they tried something similar." They never say you can't do it, only that you might fail, or that it's too risky, or that you're not quite ready. What they are doing is projecting their own fears and limitations onto your potential. They see your ambition as a mirror, reflecting their own inaction and regret, and they cannot tolerate the light. Their sabotage is less about hating you and more about preserving their own fragile self-image. They need you to stay within the bounds of their comfort because your growth exposes their stagnation. Here's how you disarm this subtle attack. Understand that their words are not about you. They are a reflection of their own internal landscape, a trauma response to the discomfort your ambition creates within them. Do not internalize their doubt. Do not let their whispers become your inner monologue. Your confidence is a shield. Do not let them chip away at it with their manufactured concern. Abraham Lincoln once advised, "It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt." What he understood is that sometimes silence is your strongest defense. When facing a subtle saboteur, your quiet confidence, unburdened by explanation or reaction, becomes an impenetrable fortress. You offer no openings, no validation for their insidious commentary. If you announce your plans and then defend them against their subtle attacks, you become entangled in their game. You give their words power, and you waste precious energy explaining yourself to someone who isn't actually listening. They are waiting for you to flinch, to show weakness, to confirm their preconceived notions about your limitations. This is their moment to help you back into your cage. But if you simply listen, acknowledge without engaging, and then quietly proceed with your plan, there's nothing for them to grab onto. There's no drama, no debate, no opportunity for them to feel superior by offering their sage advice. You don't need their permission or their approval. Your actions become your only response, and they are irrefutable. Confucius taught that the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. This is the blueprint for handling the poisoned well. Your focus must be on the execution, not the announcement. Let your progress speak for itself. Let your results be the undeniable counter-argument to their every doubt. Chapter 6. The Resource Predators. The hungry, they circle. Your burgeoning strength becomes their personal feast. Learn to spot these resource predators, for they will drain you dry one small request at a time. But there is a third kind of drain, often disguised as camaraderie, that chips away at your foundation. These are the resource predators. They see your rising tide not as a shared opportunity, but as a personal ATM. For them, your success is merely an open account from which they can make endless withdrawals. They are not necessarily malicious, but they are opportunistic. They operate on a simple principle: your abundance is their access. They will ask for favors, introductions, advice, time, or even direct financial help, always framing it as a small, reasonable request. They believe your capability means you have an endless supply of everything. Watch what happens when you start building something significant. The calls increase, the requests become more frequent, more specific. Can you just look over this for me? I need an introduction to that contact. Could you spot me until my next check? They never offer to reciprocate, never consider the cost to you. Their perspective is entirely extractive. These small, consistent withdrawals bleed your energy, your time, and your actual money. Each request, no matter how minor, forces you to shift your focus, to spend your finite resources on their needs, not your own. You become a free service provider, a human vending machine that dispenses value without ever receiving change. Here's how you deal with a resource predator. You don't confront them with their behavior. You don't try to explain the imbalance. You quietly seal off the spigots. You make it harder for them to access your resources without creating a direct conflict that they can exploit. Your goal is to make extraction too costly for them. When they ask for a favor, respond with a question about their own progress or the specifics of their plan. Make them present a clear strategy, a tangible action plan. If they ask for an introduction, demand to see their pitch, their value proposition. Shift the burden of work back onto them. Your assistance now requires their preparation. Fools announce their new boundaries, inviting arguments and emotional pleas. They try to explain why they can no longer give as freely. But the cunning understand that explanation breeds expectation. If you announce you're cutting off access, they will find new ways to bypass your defenses or simply accuse you of betrayal. Instead, you implement a system of quiet friction. John D. Rockefeller, a man who built an empire on efficiency and control, understood the power of eliminating waste and unnecessary expenditure. He didn't just cut costs, he engineered processes that made waste impossible. Your resources are your capital. Protect them with the same ruthless efficiency. Sun Tzu taught that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. You are not fighting these people. You are simply making your position strategically unassailable. You are raising the cost of their demands until they naturally seek easier targets. Your defense becomes so strong, they simply give up on trying to penetrate it. What this does is force them to either genuinely invest in their own efforts or to move on to someone else who provides easier access. The relationship becomes transactional where before it was parasitic. You stop being a source of free energy and start becoming a gatekeeper of valuable, conditional assistance. This rebalances the scale without a single dramatic word. It eliminates the leak without you ever having to justify your actions. But while these predators drain your material wealth and energy, there's another subtle, more insidious type of friendship that poisons your very drive to succeed. What is it? Chapter 7. The Reciprocity Trap. The Reciprocity Trap, a subtle snare where giving becomes a weapon. We shall expose those who prey on your good nature, turning generosity into servitude. This is the reciprocity trap. It's the phantom debt, an unspoken ledger where you deposit, they never withdraw, yet you feel obligated. This isn't theft. It's a slow bleed of your time, resources, emotional energy, disguised as future return that never materializes. They weaponize your generosity, creating an unbalanced dynamic that drains you dry. These individuals master the slow ask. They begin with small requests, testing your boundaries, observing your willingness. Then they escalate. A ride becomes help moving, then a temporary place to stay, or a loan for an urgent bill. Each time, a heartfelt promise of repayment, a narrative of impending breakthrough, a sincere, "I'll get you back." Watch what happens when you fall for this. You become their safety net, their free labor, their emotional dump. You invest time and effort, not from genuine desire, but conditioned expectation of a deferred return. The more you give, the more invested you feel, a sunk cost fallacy, preventing you from cutting them off. You chase imaginary balance, sinking deeper into their manufactured debt. Here's how they set the trap. They praise your kindness, loyalty, big heart. They make you believe you're the only one who truly understands, who believes in their potential. This validation is the bait. You keep giving to maintain that image, to feel like the good person they've convinced you to be. It's emotional manipulation, binding you tighter than any contract. Think about the friend always needing a favor, yet vanishing when you need them. They appear for gain, disappear when giving stops. They are emotional vampires, sucking your energy, offering only future promises. They see you as a resource node, a steady supply of what they lack, not a friend. Mahatma Gandhi, dedicated to empowering individuals, understood self-reliance and the subtle harm of dependency. He knew that true aid empowers, while fostering perpetual need only weakens. Your continued giving, without real behavioral change, prevents them from standing on their own feet, trapping both in a cycle of helplessness and quiet resentment. The foolish person clings to hope of eventual reciprocity, reminding themselves of their good deeds, waiting for scales to balance. They believe patience brings reward, but enabling a predator offers no reward, only exhaustion. They will drain you until nothing is left, then move to their next target. The strategic mind recognizes true reciprocity is organic, flowing naturally between those who value each other equally. It needs no tracking, relies on no vague future promises. What Aristotle understood about friendship was its nature as a mutual bond, built on shared virtues and balanced exchange, where each contributes and receives proportionally, not a perpetual imbalance. If you keep extending your hand, they will keep taking. But withdraw resources, make assistance conditional on concrete action, and you force them to confront responsibility, there is nothing to explain. You are not obligated to enable their patterns. You simply stop being their ATM, chauffeur, therapist. This redefines the relationship. You transform from a limitless resource to a discerning gatekeeper. They will adapt and contribute genuinely, or they will fade away, proving they only sought exploitation. This isn't coldness, it's self-preservation. It is the necessary surgery to cut off a limb dragging you down. But sometimes, the friend who bleeds you dry isn't doing it intentionally. Sometimes, the damage is deeper, etched into their very character, subtly eroding your ambition. What is this hidden threat, and how does it sabotage your every move? Chapter 8, Surgical Severance. Surgical severance. The rot of inaction is insidious. You know the blade must fall, yet you hesitate, and that hesitation, my friends, is your undoing. The hidden threat is your own reluctance to perform the necessary severance. You understand the damage, you feel the drain, yet you hesitate, caught in a web of past loyalty or misplaced pity. This hesitation is a slow poison, allowing the erosion of your ambition to continue unchecked, creating a constant, low-level sabotage of your future. Trying to address this directly, to explain yourself or articulate the problem, is a mistake many make. You believe honesty is the best policy, that a frank conversation will bring clarity or resolution. Instead, you merely open yourself up to their manipulation, their guilt trips, their relentless need to pull you back into their orbit. They thrive on the drama, on your emotional investment. Watch what happens when you try to sit them down for the talk. They will deflect, deny, or become the victim. They will accuse you of abandoning them, of changing, of being selfish. Every word you offer as explanation becomes ammunition for their counterattack, drawing you deeper into an argument you can never win. You leave feeling exhausted, guilty, and still entangled, having achieved nothing but a deeper drain on your energy. Here's how you perform a surgical severance. You don't confront, you don't explain, you simply withdraw. This is not ghosting out of cowardice, but a strategic retreat, a deliberate reduction of access and contact. You make yourself less available, less responsive, and less emotionally invested without ever needing to justify your actions. Begin by slowly decreasing the frequency of your interactions. Respond to texts hours later or not at all. Decline invitations with vague, polite excuses that offer no opening for further discussion. You are not shutting them down, you are just subtly, consistently, and without explanation, making yourself unavailable. This creates distance without confrontation, allowing the relationship to naturally wither. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, understood that precision and decisiveness were paramount in battle. He wrote that the way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. What he understood is that just as a sword cut should be clean and final, your severance must be clean and without hesitation. There is no room for lingering doubt or half measures. The decision is made, and the action follows without internal debate. When they inevitably press for details, for an explanation of your sudden distance, offer vague, non-committal answers. I've been really busy lately, or just focusing on my own projects right now. Do not elaborate. Do not offer specific examples or promises to reschedule. You are a wall of polite indifference, giving them nothing to latch onto, nothing to argue against, nothing to argue against, nothing to interpret. Leonardo da Vinci believed that implicity is the ultimate sophistication. He understood that the greatest designs are often those free from unnecessary complexity. When severing a tie, the most elegant solution is often the least complex, free from the entanglements of long explanations or dramatic farewells. Your silence, your quiet withdrawal, becomes your most potent weapon. If you announce your intention to cut them off, people will react with drama, anger, or desperate attempts to win you back. They will try to pull you into a vortex of emotional arguments. But if you quietly, consistently, and without explanation reduce your presence, there's nothing to fight, nothing to argue about. Your actions speak louder than any words you could ever offer. They will eventually get the message. Without your emotional investment, without your direct engagement, they will find their manipulations ineffective. Chapter 9. The Pruning Command. The pruning command. A necessary surgery, not for vengeance, but for survival. Learn to sever these insidious ties before they bleed you dry. They will eventually get the message. This is not about revenge or teaching them a lesson. It is about protecting your future, your peace, and your resources from a slow, relentless drain. The true cost of keeping these people in your life is not just the immediate energy they steal, but the compounding opportunities they prevent you from seizing. Think about the mental bandwidth consumed, the emotional baggage carried, the financial strain endured. Every moment spent justifying yourself, every decision second-guessed because of their projection, every ambition dimmed by their envy is a direct subtraction from your potential. Your life is a finite game, and every move you allow them to make on your board is a move you forfeit for yourself. You must cultivate a clear vision of what serves your highest self. As the ancient philosopher Plato taught, the unexamined life is not worth living. This isn't merely about abstract thought, It is about rigorously examining every relationship, every interaction, every person who demands your time and energy. You must see them not as they appear to be, but as they truly are, a net positive or a net drain on your vital reserves. The choice before you is stark. It is the integrity of your path versus the comfort of their familiar presence. Many believe that kindness demands perpetual tolerance, even when that tolerance corrodes their very being. This is a profound misunderstanding. True kindness, especially to yourself, often requires surgical precision and an unyielding commitment to self-preservation. Do not mistake their victimhood for vulnerability or their drama for genuine connection. These are tactics designed to keep you entangled, to exploit your empathy. The moment you acknowledge this pattern, you gain the power to break it. Your silence becomes your shield, your absence, your weapon. The pruning command is simple: sever the connection. Do not announce it. Do not debate it. Do not justify it. Just do it. Albert Einstein famously defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. To continue engaging with individuals who consistently undermine your growth, your peace, or your prosperity is nothing less than a form of self-sabotage. Your future self depends on the courage you summon today. Imagine the clarity, the energy, the freedom that will rush into the void left by their departure. This isn't just about cutting off friends, it is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It is about understanding that your life force is your most precious currency, and you are the only one authorized to control its flow. The cost of inaction is not merely stagnation, but regression. They will not change. Their behavior is a reflection of their own internal landscape, a landscape you cannot terraform for them. To wait for them to evolve is to condemn yourself to their static reality. This is a strategic decision, not an emotional one. Look at the data, their past actions, their consistent patterns, the cumulative damage. These are not friendships, they are liabilities. Your duty is to yourself, to your vision, to the powerful being you are becoming. Cut them off. Eliminate the threat. Do it quietly. Do it permanently.